better go. I'm not a liar or a cheat. I won't repeat the keys I keep locked in a box inside my head. I think I hit the bar instead.
Ooh, I am thirsty. Thirsty for some stories about holidays. What?
Okay, I need you to talk now because I don't know if it's my headset that's shit or
Okay.
like I just can't.
I think
if
we'll
you're just
start
not
that
saying
again.
anything.
I think we'll start that again. Wait, can you hear me?
Okay, hello.
Hello?
Hello. I can hear you now.
Oh, I know what it was. I it's my bad.
Okay.
Just give me a sec. Oh, for fuck's sake! It's such a pain in the ass to change anything on fucking what do you call it, on Discord. It's so annoying. You have to deactivate streamer mode so that you can get into the settings, and then you change this, and then you have to re-enable streamer. Why can't I change the keybind for muting my microphone when in streamer mode? Who fucking cares if anyone on a stream sees that? Stupid fucking thing. Anyway, the other thing is, it's done that bullshit thing where it's changed the screen's wrong. Your camera's wrong. So then I go into properties. Display. I don't know why display is on auto. Why would it ever be on fucking auto? Why isn't it the one I set it? Fucking hell. I'm gonna kill someone. I'm gonna snap one day. Anyway, here we go.
We're
Yes.
working now. We all right?
We're all fine. I've had a sip of a drink. My mouth's all lubed for some mouth action. Use it in this podcast. Do you hear how lubed it is?
I love a good lubed mouth.
How lube's your mouth? Let's get a little.
I don't know. I don't want
how lubed it is.
I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk.
Let's taste. Let us all taste your lubed mouth.
I hate that. I really don't like that.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Podcast Badly. We had a week off last week because I am now a Saudi man. I've become a Saudi man. I was going to dress like a Saudi man. I've got some clothes from Saudi Arabia because that's where I went. I went on a trip to Saudi Arabia, to Riyadh, and it was very fun. And that's the whole podcast this time. Judd's not in the same place as me because some shit went down at work and I had to work late, so I don't know. Fucking who cares? Anyway, Saudi Arabia, I went on a trip there. Weirdly, I guess something on the internet is more global, so people might not find this as like exotic or anything like that. For anyone I've told who like lives anywhere near us that we were going to Saudi Arabia, they were like, "Oh, wow, okay," like that's like a really different place to go. Like, not a lot of people go there.
We think it's like a bit shocking when you go down to like Brighton, which is at the end of our like the edge of our country.
Ooh, so I don't know, Judd. I've gone to Saudi Arabia, but I don't know about Brighton. That's a little bit far. Very, very different places. If most people from Brighton went to Saudi Arabia, they'd be beheaded. Well, I don't know if they behead people anymore.
Yeah. Well,
they might just
I don't know.
Shoot them behind closed doors.
Did you see any beheadings or behind closed doors?
No, they're illegal now. Beheadings should.
Oh, okay, are they? In Saudi Arabia?
Just about. as of about
Okay.
6 months ago. That's it. Like literally.
Oh, it's about-
Yeah.
Nice. Right.
So
Okay.
there's a lot of stuff that was legal 6 months ago that is now not legal, and like the beheadings. It's not to say they don't happen anymore. They just don't do them in public. So
Cool.
anyway,
Well,
glad we started on that. They were
I
very
like these guys.
accommodating
I'm gonna
and
be-
great, by the way. When I went to this country, it was very nice. It's weird because like people from our country kind of they hear stories like that and think, "Oh, are you sure you'll be safe?" You know, like they kind of think of it more as like a dangerous kind of lawless place where they might just take a disliking to you and like I don't know, fucking stone you down a back alley or something like that.
Yeah.
It's that attitude to this country, once you've been, looks pathetic.
I know.
It's just like,
It's-
honestly, they're all just like rich superstars. It's like coming back to England after being there and like just driving down the street, everyone looks like a gangster, like a hoodlum of some kind. Everyone looks like rough as fuck. It's honestly, and to be fair, we live in the north in not a massively rich area, but even so, like, I was driving in London, like, I essentially drove the length of the country after getting back. And, like, everyone I saw, I was like, man, like, you could just mug me. in Saudi, like, there's not a whiff of that. Like, I've never felt safer in my life in a country anywhere, including right now in my own home.
Yeah,
it's wild, and it's all because of their let's be honest, overly harsh punishments of like thieving. You'll lose a hand. Fuck you.
That's what I was just going to say. That the reason why those beheadings and stuff are happening is because the people that are chopping the heads off are like bastards and deserve it. Like, you know, so
you might want to be a bit hesitant on that, Judd, because being gay gets you beheaded. So maybe.
Well, listen.
You might want to. I don't know.
No.
Maybe hold off on that. It's weird because like in total we really enjoyed it, and you can kind of embrace their like what we think of as really weird and kind of backwards rules, and kind of when you kind of just like go with it, it's really nice, but only because you don't have to go with it. Like I can come back to a country where I'm not forced into, you know, these certain things. If I had to live there, like if I was born there or whatever, or well, actually, if you were born there, you'd be given $7,000 a month for nothing. So I think it's fine.
Okay, why? But also, isn't that terrible for inflation? Like,
no, why would it?
Why?
Be?
Because you're just giving out free money. Does that not just make? Is that not bad?
They've got so much money you couldn't believe.
Okay.
Like honestly, we saw some of the projects that's being built out there. Everyone. So you know. So we there is kind of like a free money thing in where we live called Universal Credit, and I believe the most you can get on that is around £800 a month. So the equivalent for them, without having to do anything, by the way, is $7,000 a month. And that's everyone. So if you work, and that's without working. If you work and do a job, you get more as well. Not just like the salary. You don't just get more for whatever salary you're doing working. You just get more from the king, basically. So like there was a tour guide that we had. Well, some of the tour guides we had, they might be on 15k a month. No, that's no tax either. That's not tax.
Yeah, but that again, like I just don't get how that's sustainable. I don't get how
because they've got
they can just
way too much money.
Why do they
some
have
of the things they're
do they
building?
Have like a shit ton of oil or something?
Yes.
Like
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Is that what?
Some of the
right,
things they're building is like, as in the king of Saudi Arabia, the guy who's got all the money. Well, the guy who's in charge of all the money is actually the prince, but the guy who's technically got it, he must be able to buy like 20 Elon Musks. Honestly, it's just not even like the people who we think of as the richest people in the world. It's these people must laugh at them. In one of the stories that I got told by Jasmine's dad, my girlfriend's dad, because of the type of things he works with, is the king had an airbase pretty much in the middle of the city, and he was like,
Yeah.
well, I want a big park here, though. I want like a big, impressive park that I can put my name on. So get rid of the airbase. And they're like, well, where do you want to put the new airbase then? And you're like, I just don't really care. Just put it somewhere over there. And he circled a map. But Costa, like, obviously, like, he's not going to be able to get the scale on a map right. He kind of just meant put it somewhere over there. Put a good airbase somewhere in this circle. But because, like, the government officials who were going to be doing it didn't want to, well, have their heads chopped off, basically. They didn't want to question him any more than that. So they just built an airbase that took up the entire circle on the map. And I'm not 100% certain on this, but it's at least close. And it's like the biggest airbase ever. It's just absolutely fucking huge. I don't know if it's the biggest one in the world, actually, but I think it might be. It's at least close. And this is how rich they are. This is why I tell you this. He didn't notice. You know, like Spotify comes out of your bank account and you might not quite notice because, like, it's not that much a month. The biggest airbase ever came out of his bank account and he didn't notice. It's like, you know, it's the money levels is there's 6 multi-trillion-dollar projects being built right now there.
Fucking hell.
It's not you can't as in you can't really fathom $1 billion or $1 billion pounds. It's just like a number so big that you can't really comprehend it particularly well. These guys like just shit $1 billion out like it's nothing. Honestly, it is mad. But anyway, let me. I've got some photos and things that I thought we can go through. Let me just make sure Judd appears here as well. Can you see? What am I allowed to show here? I'm just thinking. I don't know what I'm allowed to show.
I can't show the beheadings.
No. So, well, yeah. No. I think we can. I think I can show up everything. So this is the view that we were greeted to. Can you see that, Judd?
No, your screen hasn't changed for me.
Okay. One sec, I'll sort this out first. So we were greeted to this, like, stunning view. We were staying on this, can you see that, Judd?
I can see that, yeah.
So we were staying with my girlfriend's dad on this multinational compound. So this is like kind of like a guarded area that has a hotel on it, has a bunch of houses, pools, things like that. You can go out of it and everything, but it has its own security. It's for people from different countries, essentially, living in Saudi Arabia. There's a bunch of different people, a lot of Americans, a decent amount of English people, but there's a decent amount of German people, and then there was, like, whatever, other people as well. So in this area, like, a decent amount of the kind of more strict laws don't really apply too much. So, like, you could be in a bikini. Like, I could have my top off in this compound. Oh, no, that's not what I want. Can you see this, Judd?
Right now I can't see anything because the stream has been ended.
Okay, right, let me try a different method then.
Get ready for a big sneeze. Yes! Yes!
I've tried something else. That's probably better.
I sneezed. Fuck yeah.
So yeah, we were greeted to the all this kind of compound with palm trees lit up, all beautiful. There was like pools that Jasmine's dad was calling the Instagram pool because there's like loads of models that'll like take pictures around the pool and shit.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's like, you know when you see these like pictures that are of a place that like you think that doesn't really exist. Come on.
Yeah.
And it was like that. It really was like paradise. It was crazy what we turned up to. So yeah, the stuff on this compound then, so there was the hotel pool. The hotel has a buffet that was really good. There was a sunken garden pool, which is what I'm showing you now. There was another pool that was heated and had kind of like a more kids warmed area and a kids play area next to it. There was an indoor pool for like aerobics and things like that and classes and practice swimming. There was a state-of-the-art indoor sports centre that had a suspended running track and a full-size football pitch inside of it.
What?
And like, yeah, this is just on the compound. And like, any sport you could want to do, it was fully covered with classes and experts and all sorts. Treatments, massages, steam rooms, everything in there. Some stuff you had to pay for, but not all of it. Like, you could use the running track and the pool and things like that in that sports centre, basketball pitches, just by living there. Oh my god, sorry, I've got Apex Legends LAN on my second monitor, and the vast majority of a game's just been playing out, and a team that was doing really well, like, there's literally about three... Oh wait, no, they were in third place, they were third squad left, and they crashed! Oh my god, that's awful!
No.
They were just raging like crazy. Oh my god, it's been such a shambles this time. I'll get back to Holiday in a sec. They've been doing a multi-stream thing on Face It Watch. It's fucking terrible. The online viewing experience of this has been fucking shocking so far. Anyway, so there's that. There's a shopping centre on the compound that has a little shop. There's two. Oh my god, the team that crashed were just celebrating. I think the remaining players must have won. I need to rewatch that. Anyway, yeah, the little shop, two cafes. An emergency doctor's, hair cutting, all sorts of stuff like that. A bowling alley, a cinema, all within this compound. It was gorgeous. Yeah, it had all sorts. Really expensive to live there, but from what I gather, lots of people that live there are kind of there for business, and the houses and everything is paid for. That seems to be a big thing. Like, if you're not a Saudi who gets loads of money anyway, and they can then afford all the houses and stuff like that, then you kind of, like, the job you get out there is double to triple the wages you would get here, but you don't have to pay bills. So, like, you don't have to pay your rent or bills. You get a housekeeper. So either the housekeeper lives with you and constantly will tidy whenever you want them to, or you can kind of have one on call where you kind of call them up, and they're also a driver, so they'll drive you wherever you want as well. It's a different world, I'm telling you. It's crazy. It's mental.
I'm just sat here with a big fucking stupid look on my dumb fucking face, because I'm just like, I'm like, listen to this, like, this isn't a country that could exist. Like economically, how does this country fucking exist?
This is why I'm telling you, like, you don't understand the levels of money. Do you remember when we were saying about kind of like Epstein's Island, and I was saying there's no way someone can have that much money that they could control, like, the Queen and all of these massive celebrities. I'm starting to maybe change my mind on that.
Yeah.
If anyone's controlling, like, a weird Hollywood paedophile ring, like, it can only be these guys, by the way. Like, if you ever wanted to find it out, I don't even think it is.
Oh,
I don't think they would be
you're
interested
gonna get
in
assassinated now, you know.
No,
now that you said that.
I seriously don't think that they would be doing that. Like, seeing what they actually are building, I just don't think they give a shit about any of that. But it's like, this is the level of money that might be able to do that. So yeah, it sounds kind of good for you, but the problem is, like, because you could just...
I love that level of money where it can have, like, that Epstein Island kind of experience.
That is funny. No, I just meant that if you could, like, what's stop? You know, you don't have much tying you down here or anything like that. If you could get a job out there for so much more money and everything's paid for you. You could just do that for 4 or so years and then have an entire house paid off in the UK or something like that. The problem is for you, like, your skills and experience is not like the jobs that
I don't think they're going to be letting me have a house and, you know, have a house cleaner and everything that drives me about for, like, lifting some heavy boards every now and again.
They just pay, like, Indians and people from Singapore and stuff like that to do that.
Yeah.
Because the wages for them are better in Saudi, and then they just send it back to their families and essentially fund an entire village with one person's salary working there. So it's so that's everything on the compound, I think. What we got next? Oh, there's a that's the hotel pool showing you that. There's like the hotel lobby, all dead fancy. Pool in the daytime was the pool in the daytime was so nice. I mean, it's so hot, like it's super warm, and it's not like what's like the hottest country you've been to that you can remember?
I don't know. It was really hot in Egypt when I went to Egypt.
Could be similar then, actually, because
Yeah.
Egypt's on a similar thing. But the when we arrived, when the plane landed, it was like nighttime, so I was thinking it's going to be cool because it'll probably drop really cold in the night.
Yeah.
And I thought the pilot said it's 13 degrees outside.
Mhm.
No, it was 30 degrees outside.
Yeah,
in the
that
middle of
makes
the
more
night.
sense.
And I think the coldest it got was maybe 28, 27.
God.
That was the coldest it ever got. The hottest it got was about 37. But what I will say is, it's just different. I swear, people outside of England don't understand this until they come here. The heat hits different in England. It really does. Like 25 degrees in England, 25 degrees in England was way hotter than the 37 degrees in Saudi Arabia. I don't know how that can be the case, but it just was. The other good thing about this place is it's really dry heat, so you don't sweat. Like, you'll be really hot, but you just don't, like, the liquid on you is just gone straight away, so you don't really sweat or anything. Unless a thunderstorm comes and then the air gets more humid and you start to sweat, which I'll get on to later. So. We tried Saudi Arabian McDonald's, because you have to do that. You have to try the McDonald's.
You have to try the McDonald's.
It's pretty good. So, all the meat's halal, which has advantages and disadvantages, because it means that they're not, like, there's no shite pumped into them. They don't give them, like, medicine and chemicals and all sorts of that stuff like that, like our meat gets, because they have problems with, like, kind of impurity in your body to do with religion and whatever. I didn't look into it too much. But it means that they don't really treat them massively nicely, and they kill them in a bit of a brutal way that's kind of unnecessary, I think, anyway.
Yeah, they slit the fucking bastard throats and let them bleed out, don't they, Jay? They let all the blood, like, slowly drain from the cow, and then they stand around, go around and rub it on the faces, going, yes! Yes!
No, that's what... we did that one time.
Oh, yeah, I did that.
We weren't supposed to talk about that, actually.
I did that.
But, no. So anyway, so that's kind of advantages and disadvantages, but it means that the meat was super tasty, like, especially chicken. Yeah. It was we saw chicken in the supermarkets, and it was definitely smaller than the chickens we get by a long way, but it was really, like, tasty. It was good.
Do they not eat pork? Is that right?
They don't eat pork, so they do have bacon at McDonald's, but it's beef bacon. It's really good. It's really crispy and tasty.
Yeah. Is that better beef bacon?
Their beef bacon is way better than the bacon we get anyway from McDonald's. We tried a McArabia, which is like a flatbread with grilled chicken and stuff. It was really good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, that sounds all right.
Yeah, it's just pretty good. I mean, the quality is better than our McDonald's. The quality were just better. And the portion, like a large there, way bigger than a large here. It's closer to American portion size for sure. I've not been to America actually for it, but what I imagine Americans is. So you got to do the McDonald's report. It was pretty good. It was up there. I think my favorite McDonald's is still perhaps Sweden, but this is up there as well. It's pretty good.
That sounds like a song in Hamilton, that the McDonald's.
Does it? Okay. Just wanted to show you a few pictures of what it kind of generally looks like. Kind of, Riyadh, the capital city. It's not pretty, like the city itself, kind of the transitions when you drive in between places. Don't look great. Oh, I found an Arabian Mario.
I find it weirdly aesthetically pleasing when, and I honestly think this is from New Vegas, from playing New Vegas. I find it really aesthetically pleasing when there's like a city, like a big like impressive city surrounded by desert. Like I find that really aesthetically pleasing.
You'll see some more pictures later, though. It's not like nice desert. It's not sand. You know, like sand dunes.
Yeah.
Well, you know, dune. It's not.
Yeah,
it's
you
not
know,
like that. It's just kind of like rocks and like dust and shit. It's
I know.
not,
I get what you mean, but
nice.
I know. Like I don't. It's something more. I think about the idea of this like great impressive city being out like in the middle of like ass fuck nowhere. I think the nastier looking the desert, the better. The more
okay. Well, this does it. So you'd probably like it here then. It's it's weird. I mean, one of the the biggest problem, other than like beheading for being gay, like the biggest kind of day-to-day problem is the traffic. There's no public transport. Well, there's some buses, but there's basically no public transport because the city is so new. It's like it's expanding so quickly, and it's so new that it's just not done yet. It's just not ready. They've got subways that are going to be open soon and all sorts, but.
I thought the reason was that you were going to say was that because everybody's so rich that either like people are driving around in these like amazing cars or they have personal drivers.
That's part of it as well, and that's going to be a difficult challenge to kind of cut down on the traffic. But they're also all maniacs with driving as well, so it's like there's barely any rules on the road. You see some really nice cars because people are really rich, but vast majority of them aren't because they're just going to get bashed up. So it's quite bad, the traffic. Also, Google Maps just lies to you. You just put anywhere in. It feels like it's like some taxi driver who's trying to convince you to drive to that place. It's like, oh, how far away is such and such? Oh, 30 minutes. Just 30 minutes. And you put anything in. It's just 30 minutes. Just 30 minutes. It'll take you fucking 3 hours. It's like, that's 30 minutes. So there's not a lot of skyscrapers because they just go out rather than up. There's so much room in the desert. They don't, but obviously that's going to kind of, I don't know, fuck with how long it takes to get places, whatever. Toilets then.
Do they all look like that?
No. So half of them are just like a hole in the floor for tradition. Because I think the toilet situation really reflects what this place is like. It's half really traditional and half super modern. As in, half the toilets are just a fucking hole in the floor, and half of them are like nice, normal seats that you want to be in, taking a dump in. They all have butt hoses.
Yeah, bidets,
No, it's not a bidet. A bidet is like in the toilet that squirts up at your butt. It's not that. It's a hose on the wall that you use to squirt at your butt. Bidet? Great. Works great. You can be sat there, it squirts up your asshole, washes it for you, and then you just, you dry off. The butt hose sucks. Like, you can't, like, you have to stand up to use it because you can't just squeeze your hand in the gap. So you kind of have to stand up and spray your ass and then shit water sprayed all over the cubicle. It's such a stupid idea. I hate so many toilets I would go into. And there was just what looked like clean water all over the floor, to be fair. But I know that's been on someone's butt. Like,
that really does have tiny little shit particles floating around in it, little shit amoebas.
Yeah, I didn't like the butt hose. But the thing is, you're not supposed to put toilet paper down the toilet in Saudi Arabia. Now,
okay.
Because they don't need to. They use the butt hose. You can clean it with that, and they dab it, and they put the wet tissue in the bin.
Okay.
I said fuck it the entire time. I just put it in the toilet. It was fine. I didn't cause any problems. It was okay. What I would say is, I took a picture of this this toilet hole, the one in a hole in the ground, so I could show Judd. If someone had caught me doing this, I'd have probably been in a lot of trouble because they would not like someone taking pictures in the toillet.
Do you think they would have beheaded you?
They might have. I don't know.
What if they would have like grabbed you and like got a big fucking massive saber out and they like put it up to your head and they're about to like saw your fucking head off? They're like, you said to them, no, please, I was just doing it for content for the Podcast Badly channel, and they went, Podcast Badly. We love Podcast Badly. They're all huge fans.
How do you think I got my my Saudi garb? That's why they gave it to me. I became one with them. No. I don't know. I think this is kind of why I think people are scared of this country, because the rules are so not natural to people from where we're from. So you already struggle with really knowing all the rules. But the other thing is, you know that they're really harsh with punishments, and you don't really know how harsh they're going to be to punish you on things you might get wrong. So I think that's why people are kind of scared of it, because it's like, I don't want to do anything wrong, because if I accidentally do, they might accidentally get really mad at me and kill me or something.
Yeah.
So I think, but it's not as bad as that. It's really not that scary or anything. So we went to. This is going to take fucking forever to show you everything, by the way, but we'll get through it. We went to a place called Boulevard World, and also Boulevard City is the other one. So this is Boulevard City is what I'm showing you now, Judd. That is the free bit. Boulevard World you have to pay tickets for. So Boulevard City is this kind of big area that has a bunch of experiences and restaurants and things like that. It had, like a fun fair with the Ferris wheel and some of the rides, like a little roller coaster. It had one of those. It had some go-karting. It had something that you will like. Is it going to be a Five Nights at Freddy's Horror House?
Oh no! Did you go in it? Please,
we didn't have time. We honestly didn't have time.
Jake,
we got to this place at 4 p.m. and left at like nearly 1 a.m. with just the stuff we did.
Yeah.
Honestly, you could spend months doing all the stuff there, or you could have, because it's not there anymore. What I'll get to that. So what I'm showing you now is one of the entrances to the free bit is like a slightly smaller version of Times Square in New York. That's just like their entrance to this place. They're just like, let's just have Times Square be the entrance. Got two of them because there's an entrance on the other side. So that's the entrance there. What else did they have? Oh, we tried a one-piece burger from Herfy. It was McDonald's basically. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, Boulevard City has so there's one of the other experiences that there is like called House of Hype. It's got a bit like some break dancers, like light shows, stuff like that. Big water fountain with water shows, some fancy restaurants. One of the only experience we did, because Jasmine got to pick, was a parrot. No, there was a parrot at the entrance. That's all.
Okay.
It was like a dog experience, and I'm gonna get into dogs later. There's more dog news.
Your favorite thing.
So there was 3 pens for different sized dogs, and there was just groups of dogs in them that you could just like pet the shit out of. So I went in. I didn't pay for this.
Fucking sigh from you. Okay, go on.
I was like, I'll go in and be the photographer. So you were allowed in the pens, and you're allowed to pet them all. And I was thinking, these floors, like you would sit on the floor to pet them all.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, the floors in these places are going to be covered in piss. It was going to be really gross. I was thinking, I really want to wash my hands as soon as I'm done with this place. There was this like I don't know, like a bulldog type of thing that was a fucking menace. It was like this grey bulldog. So this pug came and sat on my knee, and it was proper like laid out sleeping. This one grey bulldog did not give a fuck. It trampled this pug and was all on top of it. And this pug was just taking it. In the smaller dog pen, there was one sausage dog that were a bit possessive and kept telling all the other ones to fuck off when it was sat on Jasmine's knee. Yeah, she enjoyed it a lot. I just kind of wanted to wash my hands, mostly. There was this one golden retriever that could have been pet for eternity. It was just the amounts of joy this golden retriever had just from being pet. There was also this big, I don't know if you can identify this breed that I'm kind of showing you right now, Judd.
No, I do. No, I'm not really sure, but I do love that kind of dog.
It's really big. It was the biggest dog in the park. So I had there was some lumps in my shorts from, and the stuff in my pockets. And he kept trying to, grab the stuff in my pockets, but not, and, pull it away. But obviously my shorts were in the way. It also
Yeah.
didn't realise that the middle one was my cock. So it,
Oh, no.
it was trying to pull my cock away. I was like, whoa! And stuff like that in Saudi is way more embarrassing because they care a lot more. I couldn't just go, oh my god, it's after me knob. Like, I would be in big trouble for that. So, yeah, this one kept trying to grab my knob. Yeah. So, I don't know. Jasmine had a lot of fun at the dog place. And, yeah, it was fine. I don't so stuff like this I don't mind so much because like I can wash my hands after and I just get to enjoy the positive bits of dogs. So it's like a nice friendly pet.
You said that like a Smiling Friends character. Like, so yeah, it was fine. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, right? So you remember last dog discussion, literally last podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We were looking after
a bastard,
a
little bastard.
horrible. What was it? A Labrador? Oh my god. Anyway, so that was for a temporary foster while some people went away. Who were looking after it. I was very, very, very on the edge of whether we'd have dogs again at all in any sort of form after that. So we've been offered another temporary foster for a week and a couple days. We're doing it. But this is the kind of like preface. If anything doesn't work right, it's going back and we're never having any again. Right?
Yeah.
So we've not even got the fucker and things are already not working right.
Oh,
there's already overlaps in double bookings and stuff like that. We're not having them again. That's it now. We're done. We will have this one and let it stay. I'm done after that. Never having them again.
Yeah.
Anyway. Here's a big statue of a monkey that I'm showing you.
What if? Hold on now. What if? And now we'll get to that monkey because that monkey's got a lot going on. But what if this one dog, just like completely changes everything?
What? It would have to fucking fly. It'd have to be Brian Griffin. It'd have to be like, no.
What if it walked in and the music went and it went, hey Jacob, what about this?
Knowing me, it would do that music, but it'd be like the weird Italian dog they had for a season.
It'd be the brown one. It'd be like, hey, what's going on?
It's me, not Brian.
They introduced me after they killed the other one.
Fucking, that was a dark time. Anyway, big statue of a gorilla. It's a big yellow green gorilla holding more gorilla feet for some reason.
Yeah, it's like hands are resting on another pair of gorilla feet. That's interesting. I want to know more. I want to know more about that. Why has it got like another pair of feet that it's like grasping onto?
The reason I show you this, right, is because there's lots of statues that are like, you know, KAWS, KWS or KWZ or whatever it is. You know those statues that kind of have like, well, you know, Bear Bricks. You ever heard of Bear Bricks?
No. What the fuck's that?
Oh, they're kind of like hype beast art, essentially. The hype beast kind of statues you might have in your house or whatever. A lot of statues in Saudi Arabia are like that because it's so new. It's like they've given a fucking 12-year-old billions because, like, you know, a 12-year-old like, oh yeah, look, I've got this fucking hype beast art that cost me millions. It's like that. And you know, we'd have like a nice carved marble statue or something like that.
Yeah,
there you go, big plastic green monkey. I like it. I love the aesthetic they embrace.
I moved to this fucking country, you know. I'm bisexual. I'm gonna have to give up half of that and just be like, you know,
it's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Alcohol's illegal.
Oh, fuck.
Fuck
you
that country! I'm not moving there!
This country really is the definition of a swing and a miss, innit? Like, they have such cool ideas and, like, wacky shit, and then they go, oh, but they don't like beer or gays, and it's like...
Those are the two most fun things!
Yeah. Next you're going to tell me that you got a problem with smoking weed over there.
Oh. No, they've got so much of a problem with so much stuff that I don't know. I kind of thought you weren't allowed to bring in perfume because it's alcohol based. Mm-hmm. They have like oil based perfume over there.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. There's certain things though that you're not allowed to bring. Nutmeg. So you know, like a Christmas pudding.
Yeah.
Can't have it.
Any of it? Is there a specific reason?
It's like an intoxicant, apparently.
Is
like,
it?
but no.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's like one of them went maybe technically, but it didn't actually practically do anything. So stuff like that is odd. There's big fountains for you, Judd. Some other wacky art with a bunch of animals riding a bike.
I see you snuck your girlfriend in there.
Yeah. This place had a really big food court at the middle of it that had all the kind of like takeaway stuff. This place, you know, any American chain, any American food chain that you can think of, they have that here. 100%.
Yeah.
We went to Cheesecake Factory. There's Raising Cane's. There's fucking Texas Roadhouse. P.F. Chang's. There's fucking Hardee's. All of them. Anyone you can think. Actually, the only one I didn't see was In-N-Out, but they might have one somewhere. I don't fucking know. They've got all of them. So, yeah. Very, very cool place. And that's free to go in, by the way. You obviously have to spend money on whatever food you buy and stuff like that there, but it's really big, really cool. I wish we could have done some of the go-karting and stuff there, but it's just like we just had too much stuff to do. Of course, we were going to go to Boulevard World, which is kind of across a road. So we took a cable car to go from Boulevard City to Boulevard World, which was pretty cool. It was really fun to see all the lights lit up as we transitioned across. Didn't transition in any other ways because that would be very illegal there as well.
For fuck's sake.
So, Boulevard World.
It's weird. It looks like this place looks surreal. This looks like the when you're in the bathysphere and you see Rapture for the first time in BioShock. It's fucking weird. It's a weird city to look at.
It is. Boulevard World, right? This is you know, like in Disneyland or whatever, there's that place with all the different countries. Like there's a little Italy, and there might be a bit of China. It's like that, but fucking massive. It's like they've done that, but maybe 12 times bigger. It's huge. So there's loads of different countries within this place, or loads of like different versions of countries in this place. So the first one we landed in was Egypt. I'm going to have to flick through these fairly quick, but I did a little video of all of them. Do you want to play the game that my mum wanted to do, where she wanted to guess what each of the countries were when I flicked the next one? So, well, first one was Egypt. Got some video of that.
Okay, well, I feel like this one might be cheating. I might be cheating on this one.
My mum didn't get this straight away, but the first thing is a building that says Greece in massive letters over it.
It's Greece. That one's
the
Greece.
Next one was Greece. And what I would say as we're going through these is, if any of these, any one of these country areas was an attraction in the UK, it would seem amazing, just on its own. There's a map of it, big Spartan helmet. So I didn't get a good video of this one bit. There's a few bits that are not countries. So there was a combat area. So one of it was a castle with like bows and arrows and stuff. One of it was like rifles that you could shoot, and like there was like a laser quest. There was like all sorts.
This is my bit. This is the bit I'm staying at.
Yeah, we didn't. Again, like I could have spent a week just in this bit, like, but we had to spend our entire time just walking around and seeing it all. Next country then, Judd. What do you reckon this one is? Walking around.
I feel like I'm getting something like maybe like a Persia.
Persia, not a bad guess. It's Morocco.
Morocco, okay.
So,
all right.
Kind of similar area, probably. I don't know. I'm not looking at a
different
map. Cultures. This is where I got some nice smell from. Now, so Riyadh, it must be the nicest smelling place in the world. It's just this place is so rich, Judd. Everywhere you go, there's these little squirty. I'm not just talking in this park. Just everywhere, there's these little squirty fountains that squirt perfume out. The entire city smells amazing.
Oh my god!
They're just there. It's just constantly. It's a nice tiny mist, not overwhelming, just like beautiful, just unique perfume, just all the time, everywhere. It's just nuts. Next, what we got next? So this was a boat ride, so you could take a boat ride and look at all of kind of be able to see everything at once.
Yeah.
You know the Las Vegas sphere.
Yeah, they got one of those.
Yeah, they just had one there. Do you remember when like Las Vegas people were like, "Wow, this new amazing sphere we've got," and then Riyadh's like, "Put one there." It's not even the main attraction. It's just there.
Yeah, there's that. I like how there's that there. You have this giant, sinister, fucking swirling orb of like fire, and then the camera panned in on a fucking brontosaurus. Or what the fuck? It's like we have these as well. Just what we brought these back from the dead as well.
Brontosaurus next to a missile, by the way. There's a missile next to it with a giant whale jumping out of the water.
The Simpsons episode where Homer's working for the guy who's like very clearly a supervillain, but he's not clicking on with it. That's what this is like, where he's just got all this random shit in his lair.
It's a different planet. It's like we went to a different world. Yeah. There's just what are they called? There's just a Gundam.
There's like a Megazord. They've just got a Megazord.
Yeah, there's a Megazord as well. There's everything. It's all there.
This is
and then there was China.
Yeah, and then they have China. We just bought a bit of China and flew it here and just like stuck it in the ground. Is that like Italy or something?
Yeah, and they were Domino's in Italy, which I find hilarious. Yeah, Italy, then, what's this next country going to be?
That one might be China.
Yeah, they had China. There was a guy who had a big teapot strapped to his back outside of China.
Oh.
That was fun.
China.
What I find interesting, what I like to tell people about this one when I've been, like, showing my mum and things like that. Every one of these buildings, like, in a lot of countries, most of the buildings would be, like, a bit of a facade just to kind of flesh out the kind of area. Every single building has a thing in it. So a restaurant or a shop or, something like that. Every single one of them has something going on. Obviously, there'd like be events happening throughout the park. So we saw some dancers in the China area. We saw like a shark was there.
A shark.
This was just in like a transition area. It's not even like part of it really. They just had like a tank with a shark and an eel in it. Some bioluminescent fish that looked really cool. This was just for a hallway, Next, where is this city, Judd? Or country? Maybe describe what you're seeing.
I'm sort of seeing. Is this France?
It's France.
Yeah, I saw Eiffel Tower going back on past on that projection thing, but that I wasn't really thinking about that. But the buildings,
they look very French, don't they?
Yeah, they just have that French look about them.
That's
and I think
there's
okay, I didn't see that. Fair enough, but
the big giveaway is
the
replica Eiffel Tower that they just made. Just make an Eiffel Tower. Just make an Eiffel Tower. Come on, get on with it.
No, I recognize the buildings from Call of Duty. You know the one map.
The map. Modern Warfare 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
What country is this? Next one.
This is the Monopoly map. This is England. This is London.
People don't realise that Monopoly's set in London.
Is it?
Yeah.
Of course it is. Yeah.
UK one was rubbish. I'm gonna be honest. It was one of the worst ones. They had fishy chips though, which was fish and chips in a London bus. We were full already, but I would have liked to try that. I think that would have been interesting to see how they did it. Next was this country. I didn't think this one was very good either.
I don't think that's a real country, but I think that they're doing America, maybe. Yeah,
it's America. No, I didn't rate America's one very good.
You actually told me in private that you hate all Americans.
Well, the American tourists on this fucking trip were awful, and I'll get to that. I'll get to that eventually.
You don't really hear a lot of stories of American tourists being bastards. Well, I don't know.
think we just get
don't
overwhelmed with our country's tourists being bad because my theory is American tourists are worse than British tourists until you give British tourists alcohol. And then they take that over. But because alcohol is illegal here, the Americans were the worst.
I see. Okay, all right, fair enough. That makes sense.
So, what country is this bit? I kind of made this hard.
This is Japan.
Okay, so yes, and also kind of no. In the bit I'm studying is
like
Thailand.
Korea? Thailand. Okay,
but I kind of zoomed in on the Japan bit that's behind it. So
I see. I see. You're a little
Thailand
bastard.
was kind of represented by this like floating market bit.
I wouldn't have got this. Still, I would have probably said fucking China again.
God, how cultured you are, Judd. But I took a cool picture of the Japan bit, and Jasmine. There was like some Thai people in some fancy clothes that we saw. Looking happy. Then he looked sad. Anyway, no. Jasmine got a Luffy hat that she was quite proud of. And yeah, she got it from a weed
Jasmine
store.
watch One Piece, or was she just like, I like this hat?
Show.
Oh, okay, all right, fair enough then.
By the way, if you want to get into One Piece, definitely do the Netflix show. It's way better than the anime.
Oh wow!
Anime's shit though. It just is. It is.
We talked about this before. We're not anime fans here.
It's not that I dislike all anime. It's just that in general, anime is quite bad.
I dislike most anime. Like
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So what's next? What we got? Oh, what's this place? What's the next place? What are you seeing, Joe?
Oh, is it like Aztec? What are we? Not Mexico. Is it?
Yeah, Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico.
Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking. I don't know. I was just thinking more south. I don't know. Yeah.
They had a horror thing on here that we didn't want to go in. To be honest, Island of Dolls thing. There's
Why
a big
didn't you want to go in there?
That was quite fun. There's a place called Mexican Joint, which I think was food, but I thought it was funny that it was called Mexican Joint. It made me think they sell Mexican joints in there.
Mexican Joint.
This was another one where we saw some dancers. And dancing, I've got a funky dress. I lifting up my skirt a little bit, just a little bit, cause I'll get beheaded if I show my coochie. Anyway, so that was fun.
This isn't me being awful. I'm not being nasty here. I'm surprised that they actually let women dress up like that in like the other countries' clothes and dance like that. To be honest.
No, they're not that bad. It's fine. If you think about it, their hair's covered. All their arms is covered. Even
I don't know what
what
the fucking checklist is for like needs to be covered or like why. So
in general, for women, it's knees and shoulders. I think just walking about
knees and toes.
And for men, it's basically like it's just shoulders for men. Like your knees don't really
hear that, women? That's because we're better than you.
No, it's because our knees look less slutty.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's because God prefers us to you, women.
But depending where you go, though, if you go to different places, it's different. What's this place, Jude? I just took a big picture of this one.
This is Rome, or Rome. Yeah, Rome. Yeah.
No, what's happening right in the middle of this fucking picture, you idiot?
Like Roman bullfighting.
Roman bullfighting. That's where bullfighting happens, is it?
Yeah.
No, what are you thinking about?
Spanish,
oh my God.
Spanish. What am I doing? What am I talking about?
Those famous Roman bullfighters.
Iconic fucking Roman bullfighters.
This place also had a big turtle. I don't know why the big tortoise was there, but it was there. Next. Oh, so this wasn't a country, this bit. I'm going to mute this again. This wasn't a country. There was just a big fairground bit with roller coasters and stuff. I wanted to go on the big roller coaster, but Jasmine and her dad were being big fucking pussies.
I gotta agree with them. I'm like one. I'm already a pussy with that kind of stuff. I always have been. But two, I'm seeing like more. Not here because it's a very nice place, but I am seriously seeing like more and more videos of like just places not building rides right and them just like fucking up and
everything is costing more and being worse. Like it's getting terrible. I think that bubble's gonna pop soon, and people are gonna just stop fucking buying anything until they can prove that it's good quality and worth it.
Yeah.
Next, what's this country? What you seeing, Judge? Say what you see. What can you see?
I'm seeing a lot of rounded building tops. I'm thinking.
This is like weird GeoGuessr.
Yeah. I don't really know what I'm thinking right now. I'm sort of thinking like Persia again, but it's like.
Come on, think about it. More obvious, more
India.
Country. India, that's the one.
Yeah, India. Yeah,
India. Here, Jasmine got a samosa, and then we watched the Indian singing show. Here it sounds. This is what it sounds like.
What do you think it's... Sorry, I'm not laughing at the singing or the performance. The guy was just singing then. It was just like chanted. He was like proper into it on the chanting bit. And then the second that it was like a little break, he immediately... It was like the face, the meme face of Patrick Bateman. Just like staring...
So this was a gorgeous setting and everything.
Yeah.
But eventually... Like, obviously, like, people here, the main language is Arabic, and then English is spoken a lot for another kind of multinational language. So they don't speak Indian here.
Yeah.
So we had no fucking clue. No one had a clue what these guys were saying. Until, like, one of them started going, Tutti Frutti Ferrari! And then we were like, wait a minute, these guys are mocking us! So they were just singing a load of shite. They must have been saying, the guy in the third row is really fat, and stuff like that.
I can't fucking believe that's insane. We need like a translator or something to tell us what the fuck they were actually saying.
There was one guy in the front row who was going, yeah, who obviously knew what they were saying. A cat snuck on the stage. It was good.
The cat snuck up. He knew what they were saying.
This was not another country bit, but there was like a petting zoo type thing where you could go in the enclosure with the animals. Now, where we live, there's a lot of emphasis on like not animal cruelty and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they care as much. So like, I don't know. It was a bit odd because I was kind of like, I don't really know how well these animals are being treated. But it's kind of cool to go in their enclosures. So yeah, we went in and we saw some wallabies. We saw some.
They don't like look disheveled or anything, do they? The pens are open.
I don't think that I don't think this place is the worst for animal welfare, but it's just not quite what we're used to. So. For example, there's some cats. There was a lot of cats on the compound where we're staying on. They're looked after really well. They have feeding stations, about water stations. They have like little hutches in the bushes and things like that they can go and like rest in. There's a vet's kind of program going on to make sure they're looked after. So they're looked after really well on there. But I don't know. It was just kind of there was some I don't know. It's just hard to say. Kind of in this kind of petting zoo bit, it looked a little. I don't know. I felt a little bit bad for some of them, but not as bad.
Maybe
as
you should have gone up to them and said, not the animals. You should have gone up to the people who were running it and been like, "This is wrong. What you're doing's wrong."
Nah, I don't like getting close to the owl. It was there was an owl just fucking sat there on the railing, and it's huge, and you could get right up to it.
Oh, he's sleepy, bless him.
I know. It was nighttime though, so they're nocturnal.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's like he's probably that's probably like he's 6 a.m. You know, like
Yeah,
if
I
you
guess.
imagine you just had like some random giants like coming up to you, like like it's like 5:30 in the morning.
Like,
You got to be up for work the next day, and they're like, oh, are you a pretty creature? You're just like, oh, fuck me for not for another 4 hours. I'm not. Piss off.
Yeah, it's true. Meerkats. There was some parrots. Jasmine held a parrot. It was pretty cool. There was some birds kissing in public.
Oh.
That's illegal. They were arrested shortly after this photo.
They were beheaded.
And then we ate them for a meal later. No,
Nice.
yeah. Flamingos. Some flamingos. There was some turtles. They were pretty cool. Panthers. Now,
Whoa. Okay. Were they just in the opening?
no, they were behind some
Okay.
glass.
All right.
Um,
Okay.
Probably, I think it was the only thing behind some glass. Actually, Panther's not as big as you think. But you know the dog,
Yeah.
the golden, the Labrador that we had. They were
Yeah.
probably maybe a tiny bit bigger than that Labrador.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah, Panthers not as big as you think. Giant tortoise.
Damn, they are big fuckers.
Yeah, and their head and their neck looks like a
Yeah.
donger.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they were all sleeping. They were pretty fun. Yeah, so that was the petting zoo bit. Oh wait, no, there's more. There was a bunch of fish. I liked this big fish. It went blue. The big toucan thing, hornbill toucan, that looked fucking terrified. It looked like it had been awake for a year and it was scared as fuck. I felt bad for this one. Crocodiles. They didn't have much room. Anyway, look at the cute sleeping raccoons and forget that they're shitbags. Forget that they're horrible. They'll maul you, they'll maul your face, but they're really cute.
They are fuckers.
Monkeys. They'll bite your balls off. They'll fucking kill you. They'll
They're-
pull your eyes out, but they're very
fuckers
cute.
as well. Yeah.
Saw some cute monkeys. Big snake. Big python. That was
They're
there
less
too.
fuckers. I think they're less fuckers than
Yeah, they're
people
actually
give
not
them
bad.
credit for. Yeah.
Yeah. Then there were just some more pictures and things like that. So that was Oh, we there was a performance from this Greek lady in the Greek bit.
Now, is she actually a Greek lady, or is she just spouting fucking nonsense like the Indian people?
I don't know. Actually, maybe I should have checked. They could all be Arabic for all I know, but
Yeah.
I also wouldn't be surprised if they've got enough money to just get actually people from Greece.
Yeah.
This one was a bit of a banger, actually.
Yeah. No, I like this.
Yeah, really good. And I showed this to my grandma, and she was like, "It's empty. There's not many people watching." I'm like, "Well, this park's so massive that people are just spread out across the whole thing."
Yeah.
So
I get what she means, though. Like this feels like such a big staging area for like, there's people working on this. They'll have like sound guys and like technicians and people doing the lights and stuff, and then there's those guys playing there. It's like, and then
Not much
it's
need for
crazy.
security,
It's crazy to think that like. There's probably about 15 of those things happening at the same time in this area.
Yeah, and there's multiple different ones as well. So some areas might have 2 of these. And then one might be like a dancing thing, one might be a singing thing, or like, it's just insane the scale of this whole Boulevard World thing. It's gone now.
Okay, so what?
So, you know how we build a theme park like Alton Towers or whatever, and that has to last fucking forever and keep making money?
Yeah.
They don't give a shit. They got way too much money. They don't need to keep making any of that. So this is the equivalent to them of when you get a fucking fun fair on the local green.
Oh my
It's
god.
gone. They're like, that was fun. Okay, tear it down. Let's build something else.
Talking about?
No.
This country doesn't exist. It's not real.
It's just, I don't know.
make up this crazy land for like a Dungeons and Dragons campaign I was doing. Also, it's some country that just didn't abide by the rules of economics, and everybody lived like a prince.
If you want any more info about it for a D&D campaign, then fucking hit me up, because it is wild. Like, I suppose maybe later I'll get onto some of the things that they're building at the minute. Yeah. So I don't know if I mentioned there's 6 projects going on right now.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'll tell you about a couple of the projects that we got shown, kind of what it's going to be. But anyway, next day. That's the first day. That's the first day of that, which will be the longest day to show, by the way. But anyway, and here's what looks like a pizza slice, Judd. It wasn't. We had Arabian breakfast. Very delicious. You know, you wouldn't think curry was delicious for breakfast, would you? In fact, I think the curry was cold as well. It was like some chicken and some egg and some dal and some flatbread. Very delicious. Very, very yum. Desert. We went into the desert. Found some camels. There they are. There's the camels. Yeah. There's the view outside of kind of the car that we were in with some other tourists. So this is where the first American got ridiculous, right? So there were a group of us booked on to this trip to what's called the Edge of the World, and they brought some essentially off-road cars to take us there. And this one woman who was on her own was really small and skinny, so they were like, "Oh, can you be in the back middle seat? Because you're the only person that'll be able to fit there, and you know, will be comfortable enough." Mm-hmm. And she was like, "I don't see why I have to go in the back just because I'm the only one that's skinny." And we were like, "What the fuck?" We were like, "What are you talking? What do you mean you don't see? Look at the physical dimensions. You can see them there. Look, that's the gap. You're the one that can go in it."
Yeah.
Like, why do you not want to go there? What are you talking about? It was ridiculous. So she was taking so much offense at being sat in the back of a car. I'm like, what? Why? What's wrong with me in the back? So she didn't want to. So she waited like another hour for another car to come pick her up, just so she didn't have to be in the back. It was just stupid, and like it meant there was one less person in our car. I guess you can see 35 degrees. It was at this point, which I don't think it's ever been in this country, has it? Maybe I think I've maybe seen it get to 36 at points. Maybe on the hottest ever. Whereas it was like regularly 35 here, and we were there at a cool time. We were told that it gets in summer. Oh, a camel tried to get in the car. Sneaky camel. In summer, apparently it gets above 50 degrees Celsius. Anyway, there's some pictures of like the desert. It's just like shit, barren wasteland, just forever. The desert bit. So eventually we pulled up, and our guide just kind of walked off a bit. We were like, we didn't know where he was going because it wasn't really like what we expected. It weren't where we thought we were supposed to finally be ending up. We took some video where we pulled up, and he just pointed at his hole and went, "A hole. Get in."
Here we are, guys. We've reached it. The hole.
So there's a ladder at this hole, and he just wants us to get in. So we did. We narrowly crawled in the hole. And look at him. There he is. That's the guy who told us to get in the hole.
No, I'd be like, I'm getting back in that fucking car.
I think Arabs don't massively like having the picture taken. Like, they get it. They don't mind it as much if they're not like, if you're not like just taking a picture of them almost out of nowhere. But anyone that was in a background of a picture looked like not massively happy about it. Anyway,
again, another thing that I have to agree with them wholeheartedly on. I don't want to be in your fucking stupid Instagram picture. Piss off.
Took a picture of inside the hole. It was a cave. So there's like an older fella in this picture. He was the last person like in the line as we were going down this cave, and he was behind me. I'm trying to put my torch on and take pictures and things like that. It's dark in there, and I just heard a noise. And, I was too busy messing with my camera. I heard the noise, but everyone turned around and looked. behind me, he'd fucking planted. He'd fucking fallen and slammed into the floor. And I was looking up at everyone like, what are you looking at? Because I didn't realise I was futzing with my camera. So then two men in group like kind of rushed past me to try and help him up. So I looks like a right cunt because I was just like, what?
You fucking dick.
So yeah, he was fine though. He was fine. Yeah, so we were walking. We didn't get told about this at all. We had no clue this was part of the trip. So he just walked us through this cave that got quite narrow at certain points, and there was some bats somewhere. I don't know. Oh, there you go. Can you see the bat? See the bat? It's there. I think it's there.
Yeah, he's a tiny little fella. Yeah, I see him.
So yeah, it was just when we got out of this thing, we were just like, what the fuck is going on here? Like. Honestly, like, Jasmine's not tall, but she had to, like, duck down to get out.
Yeah.
It was just...
I honestly don't think I could have done that, because that cave-in freaks me out. Cave-in freaks me the fuck out.
Yeah, I'm not good with claustrophobic scenarios either, but it honestly wasn't that bad. I'm not good with them, but I think it's fine.
It's not so much the claustrophobia aspect of it, it's the... I don't know. I just feel like so much can go wrong in a cave.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't like deep. We didn't go down anymore and things like that. It was fine, really. It was just like being inside somewhere. To be honest, it weren't. It was really
like
hot.
Inside someone.
But, okay. Anyway, so I'm gonna probably blitz through these quite a bit. This was the end of the world. It was quite a spectacular view. You could just see desert forever. It's where these kind of natural cliffs had formed. And
so again, sorry. Why is this country rich? Because there's nothing here. It's just sand.
Dude, one day they dug in the sand, lots of oil came out.
Okay, all right. How much oil came out of the ground?
Pretty much all of it.
Okay.
like you know when you top your car up, it's probably come from here.
Nice.
So either here or Russia, but there's a problem going on over there. Yeah, it just goes on forever. So the reason they called this the edge of the world back in camel times, if you were going from Riyadh, this is the furthest you could go and survive. If you even managed to get past these cliffs because they're so sheer and everything, there's no way you can make it back and survive. So it was called the edge of the world. Also, like, it looks like the end of the world as well. Yeah. It looks like it just goes on forever. So yeah, gorgeous, stunning views of this place. It was really, really, really cool. No health and safety. Like as in that's why the old guy just fucking decked it and like face planted the floor. And if you fell off the cliff, it's your bad. Like, you know.
Yeah.
And I wish our country was a bit more like this. Just ignore health and safety a bit more and look what you can get. Like, it's just such an... You would not be able to get close to the edge of this place if it weren't for, the slight lack of health and safety. It's if you don't know what the edge of the world looks like, Google Edge of the World Riyadh or Edge of the World Saudi Arabia and just look at some of the views from this place. It almost looks man-made in a certain aspect. Like, there's kind of like, it proper does drop off. And it looks almost like a city wall or something like that. But it's all naturally forming. We saw some fossilized trees and things like that that were pretty cool. I kept trying to take really cool zoomed-in pictures of the sun going down, so it looked like Dune. That was pretty nice.
That's a shot from Dune.
Yeah, that's a shot from Dune.
Wait, hold on. Go to the one of Jasmine in again. He had that vision.
This does look like a point where
the fucking name is.
He's fucking going, ooh, Zendaya's looking gorgeous in the
look
desert.
At Zendaya
looking
in the distance.
I've still not seen
she
Dune
is
2. I should do.
I haven't either. I haven't watched it either.
Yeah. So what I didn't understand at this point, right? We were with a group. There was like a couple people from like Germany or something, a couple people from Portugal in the car with us. So we were going around with them and the guide. At this point, right, sun is like getting close to the cliffs in the distance. One of kind of the tourist on the tour goes, head back to the car then. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? This whole trip is to come watch the sunset at the edge of the world. Like, this is the thing. This is why we've come here. Like, what do you mean? Should we go back to the car? So we just fucking ignored him and just like watched it. We're like, what? And the guide was kind of like looking at them walking back to the car, like, where the fuck are they going? Because the trip was, you go out there and you watch the sunset over the edge of the world in the desert, and then you eat food underneath the stars. Now, it was really windy when we were there, so we actually couldn't cook and eat there. But we watched the sunset, and then we got to go for a traditional Saudi meal at a Saudi restaurant instead of eating out there. Because everyone had fucking, like, I don't know, buggered off, there were just us and this couple from the Netherlands and then the tour guide leader. I really liked this. That couple were really nice, and the guy was really nice. So before we got here, though, the American bitch strikes back. So,
jeez. So it's the same one. Maybe it's not the Americans then. Maybe it's just this
there was
bitch
more
is
Americans.
like a cunt.
But
there was more Americans.
She was ridiculous. She was such a narcissist. She was going to be put back in the same car, and they said, so the car she came in, and the other people in the car said, do you mind sitting in the back this time, because we sat in the back on the way here? And she was like kicking off about it again. And like one of them must have said to her at some point, are you on drugs or something? Because she weren't getting it, and she was so fucking offended by that for some reason. And we found this out because most people didn't pay for the meal part of this trip. You could just go to see the edge of the world and come back. We paid for the meal bit. So we were put in a different car for the way back that was going to go to the restaurant, and then other people were going to go off to wherever. She burst into the front seat of this car. We were sat in like the back bit and just sat there, and we're like, those people in that car are crazy. And she were like telling us like all this thing that had happened, and we were like, oh well, don't worry about it, we're chilling here, we can have a nice peaceful ride. Which she ignored and continued to complain about it all and just tell us the same thing over and over again. And then we're like, oh, fucking hell. And just shut up about it. So, she wasn't having food either, but she was just shoved into our car because she couldn't get on with anyone. And then the whole time we were traveling back, the guy who was driving us didn't understand English. He was just meant to drive at that point. She was typing into Google Translate on his phone to keep moaning to him. So you were like looking at his phone, one-handed replying in Arabic, not looking at the road, and they were just having a conversation on fucking Google Translate. And at one point, I saw him hand over the message, just be happy. It was like telling him, shut the fuck up.
Oh, nice. What a fucking boy.
Yeah.
What a dude.
So we had the traditional kind of Saudi food. So there was this rice in the middle that had a chicken underneath it. So you kind of, grabbed up some chicken and some rice. I don't know what one of these other dishes was. It was quite nice. There was one that we really liked that was called salig, which was kind of like, it's you've had a rice pudding before. It was like rice pudding, but it tasted quite a bit like cauliflower cheese. Had a bit of a tang to it as well. It was nice. I liked that a lot. Yeah. You might not get on with it too much.
I don't know. You said cauliflower cheese, and I don't know. That sounded pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's then this one, I don't know. It's odd, but again, you might like. It was like shavings of bread, kind of cooked in lamb broth. So you scoop it up and it kind of tasted nice and meaty and things like that. But it had this like really weird, unique texture. When I first ate it, I was like, this is meat of some kind, but I don't know what the fuck I'm eating. So another day we got explained what that was. It was good. It was good. Flatbreads, things like that. Nice food. Can't really
I think I'd like. I'll be honest. I think I'd like that.
Yeah, I think you could get on with it. It weren't spicy either. They're not like, it's not like India where everything's like blow your head off spicy either.
I was just gonna say, I don't think Saudi Arabia is really like a spice kind of place, is it? Like,
no, not really. So yeah, that was that day. Next day we're on the cultural tour. So this isn't. So we saw an old historic fort where the king used to be. Turns out there's a lot of rotation of kings in this country until they found some oil.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to say why that might be. But anyway, we saw one of the original gates for the city because obviously when they got the money, it expanded like mad. When back essentially before they found the oil, 2,000 people in the city. There's now about 8 million.
Fucking hell. When did they find the oil as well? How long ago was that?
100 years or so.
Okay, all right. That's longer than I expected.
Well, their entire history. So their history started in the year 400. The next notable thing that happened was the year 1400, when the Ottomans essentially kind of took over for a bit. Then the next thing is like nearly 1900, where kind of the Saudis took back and united Arabia. Then like now. That's it. Like, then basically everything happened from then until now. So the vast majority, they've got some really ancient stuff going on, like this gate and walls, but the vast majority of their history happened within 100 years. They didn't have cinemas until 6 months ago, or 2 years ago, something like that. Cinemas were illegal. They wouldn't have them.
Illegal?
It's wild. Anyway, they had this tower that was kind of like their version of Big Ben. I find the story of this quite funny. So it was quite a reasonably famous architect person who did this kind of like Saudi-looking version of Big Ben. He put his wife's voice as the time declarer to honor her, which is quite nice. So it like go,
okay.
It like reached 1 o'clock, and then the tower would go, "It's 1 o'clock" in his wife's voices or whatever. Yeah, voices. Well, she's got multiple. No, in his wife's voice. They didn't like that. They were like, "What, woman telling me the time? I ain't listening to that shit." So they had to remove it because they didn't like that a woman was telling them the time. So they replaced it with like a man's voice, and so it'd dong. So it'd be like, "Dong, it's 1 o'clock," and they were like, "That dong's annoying. I don't like it." So they just turned it off. They're like, "Well, fuck you then." Just they'll turn the whole thing off. We went to a market where they were kind of like bartering for stuff. That was pretty cool. A bunch of fellas in there. Thobes is the white gown. I don't know what the head thing was called. I can't remember. So something that they have, I bought a scent that was based on this stuff, which is called oud. So they have... So obviously, not a lot of trees grow out in the desert, but one of the ones that kind of grew and kind of dried out is this oud wood that they then soak in like oils, and then you burn it, and kind of the smoke would kind of seep into your clothes. The smoky kind of bit would go away, and it'd leave this gorgeous, unique, warm oud smell. So I took a picture of that, and that's a big thing.
You keep saying oud, and I keep thinking of the people with the squid face.
Yeah, they were very friendly there, actually. I'm surprised that they were all right with the desert, the oud.
The oud?
Yeah. Anyway.
We would like to serve you.
Yeah, went down... there was a lot of swords and guns being sold in this
nice
place. But like old-fashioned ones, like 1920s style.
Did you buy a gun?
No, can't. Not allowed. Not Saudi. So this is what...
They've got stuff for that, at least.
What?
But like like good gun laws.
No.
Oh, no, okay. I've got good ones, then, but they do have gun laws.
Gun laws, Judd, because like, who's gonna shoot anyone? Like,
I don't know. There might just one day might be a crazy Saudi guy who's like,
Judd,
I'm just gonna go and shoot
guy's
people.
Got loads of money. He can just fuck off and do what he wants. Like, he's got nothing to be upset about.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Joker in The Joker was like really rich and could just look after his mum? I think he'd be fine. You know,
Joker in Saudi Arabia is like, I am a victim of society, and society's like, here is 7,000 of our currency.
No, £7,000 a month.
£7,000 a month. Sorry. Here's your cleaner. Here's your house.
By the way, your mum's been cured. She's fine.
Yeah.
She's also getting £7,000 a month.
Whatever. Yeah. Whatever you think. Oh, is this Joaquin Phoenix's Joker?
Yeah. That one.
Okay, I see.
Anyway,
and
so
then,
this,
and then he goes.
Yeah, he does. He does.
He does that laugh.
This is what I heard. I don't know who said it. I just heard someone call it Chop Chop Square. Okay. I didn't say it. I would never call it that. That's very disrespectful. But this is where the beheadings were.
Oh, Chop Square. Oh, yeah.
The guide didn't tell us that. We had to find that out ourselves. Because their tour guide office is right there.
Oh, I see.
So, yeah, they don't do it there anymore. But Jasmine's dad did manage to catch one before they cancelled them.
A beheading? A real-life beheading?
Yeah.
And did he stay and watch the whole thing?
Yeah, he watched it. Watched them
So he won't go up in a roller coaster, but he'll stand and watch a beheading.
I know, right? I don't get it either. But do you know what? As well, later this day, he'd never seen "Don't Fuck with Cats." And we thought, he might like that. Well, we'll get some food from the local place, and we'll watch that this evening with him.
Yeah.
As soon as it got to the bit where the cats were about to be abused, he turned to us and said, "If there's any animal abuse in this, I don't want to watch it." I was thinking, you watched a guy's head be chopped off less than a year ago. What? What's your problem here? But anyway,
they're probably fucking munching on some snacks outside. Just watching this guy get his head. Oh my god!
Right, next bit, Judd. This is a bit of a try not to be offensive challenge for you because this is a mosque.
Oh, okay,
right?
All right.
So. What? For you, not for me.
Yeah, I know, but what do you mean?
I don't know. I know what you like. The carpet in here, world class. Never felt a nice carpet. That's the first thing I want to say.
Yeah,
probably the most important thing.
You had to take your shoes off, right, when you went in?
Yeah, you have to take your shoes off. You're not allowed shorts in here. So this whole day on the cultural tour, Jasmine had a floor-length skirt and her whole arms covered. Not her head covered for going about. I had full-length trousers, full-length shirt sleeves as well, just in case. Turns out I didn't need full-length sleeves, but you're not allowed shorts in here. But when we got in here, she had to wear the abaya, which is like a traditional black
I was just going to say, I was
headscarf.
quite surprised that she'd be allowed in there without one on, but she's wearing one, so...
Yeah, in the mosque bit, she had to put one on. It's surprising she was even allowed in because this is the male bit of the mosque. But that's why they kind of put us upstairs. You'll see in a sec. You were allowed to take pictures and videos. I checked. I didn't just go. The guide said you can take pictures and videos here. It's fine. The reason why this is the only mosque that's open, by the way, to people.
Yeah.
Because it's normally very private, but they want to, educate people on Islam and things like that, which is really cool. I like Islam in a lot of ways, actually, because they're not the main thing I like about Islam is they're like challengers, questioners. It's fine. It'd be ridiculous if we just didn't allow people to challenge it. Whereas Christianity is it's all faith, though. Just believe, though, right, guys? Yeah. Fuck off. Whereas Islam's no, the Quran proves everything. It's irrefutable. You can't dispute it. But by the way, Judd, very refutable. But we'll get into that later. but they're open to challenge, which I think is really cool. Maybe a bit of quite a lot in denial after that. Well, so anyway, I'll get into it. This was a mosque. I got to film. So this that you can hear is the call to prayer. It was a recording, I think, this. So this you'd hear outside of the mosque as well, 5 times a day. And it was basically right, you've got this amount of time, get to praying. I think I learnt that women are allowed to pray at home, but men must try and get to a mosque. Kind of, in that there's a lot of criteria that can kind of be acceptable to not go to the mosque. So even if you're just busy with work, you can pray wherever you are, basically. But they have to carry a prayer mat and stuff everywhere to, do their praying and stuff. So then they all went down to do praying, and the prayer leader was there. Our guide at this point went down to pray as well. And in this video clip, you can hear Jasmine whispering, be like, "I'm not allowed to film this bit. I'm quite scared." But yes, the guy said we can film. It's fine. So yeah, that was in praying. It's when you're in there, you can understand how people get very caught up in it and kind of spiritual about it. But then, like, later on, when so in here there was a bunch of free literature as well, and kind of explanations of the Quran and things like that. When we kind of were out of this setting in the kind of westernized compound bit and thinking about it, I was like, wow, this is like basically really powerful brainwashing, as all religions are, really. It's wild. It's such a strange concept. So here's a falcon. There's a falcon this entire time in the back of the car.
I don't know. I mean, if they've managed to create this fucking insane paradise in the middle of this desert because they just happen to strike like the largest amount of oil that anyone's ever seen, they're probably onto something.
No,
like,
they're not. Come on.
That doesn't just happen.
It did just happen. It had to happen to someone. It's like saying, the guy who won the lottery, his religion must be right.
It happened to the people whose religion is right, is what you're saying, is what I'm hearing.
What?
The people who got it right. They
what
were
about
like,
the guy who won the lottery then? Why isn't his religion right?
He's not. He can't fucking just like put on like an amazing world tour funfair show that's up for 3 days and then scrap it.
It was up for longer than 3 days, but yeah. Look, I'll get to it. Okay. We went to another traditional meal, but there were lots of people at this one. So we got given some traditional clothes. So Jasmine got given some clothing that women would wear in the house back in the day. Nowadays they'd wear like normal clothes, like when they're around other women and at home. Then when they go out, they wear the abaya and the head coverings and stuff like that.
Do they wear their head coverings when like men come over, like friends of men?
I'm not sure. I think it depends who they are. I think around family you don't have to, but if like I don't know, I don't know fully, to be honest. But what she got given was basically what they would wear historically. It's like not what they wear today. The men got given the thobe and everything, so I've got myself a Saudi outfit. And we got to keep it. We got to keep all these things. It wasn't just to wear. I've got it. It's like over here somewhere. I should have worn it today, to be honest. But I think people would get a lot more offended if I wore it in England for some reason, which is wild. Like that's not the thing. Like to them, this thobe, it's not sacred or anything. It's like wearing a nice suit. That's why they wear it, because it's smart looking. That's what's smart looking to them. And they would love to see more people looking smart by wearing this stuff. That's literally all it was. They were so much like they were like, we're all looking all neat now. They were like so much happier when we were all wearing this stuff. There I am, look at me. Look how happy I am to be wearing it. I'm not a big fan of the hat.
I think you I don't it's weird. I think you wear that kind of well. I have this thing where when Western people, this isn't like, you know, an SJW thing, but just like, I feel like when Western men wear clothes like that, they usually like just look out of place and goofy.
Yeah.
Like, I just like, they just don't wear it well. I think you're wearing it all right.
I've got that a lot, actually. Everyone I've shown this to, like, wow, that, like, you look the part. So yeah, maybe I am a Saudi man. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe I am. Yeah.
So anyway, then I was drinking a coconut the next day. But we got given a bunch of stuff as well on this trip. So this kind of cultural trip was started to show scientists and people like that from other places in the world what Islam's actually about and what Saudi Arabia is actually about. And they gave us a bag that's made of their kind of traditional cushions, fabric and things like that. It's got a copy of the Quran in it. They had it in 40 languages. We had there's a metal coffee pot in it and a little mascara tub for the women. And it was really, really nice. It was so good. Enjoyed it a lot. The next day we were sat by the pool sipping on coconuts that you could just get from the shop. It was fun. And we were reading our scientific explanation of the Quran.
Okay.
How do I phrase this without offending millions?
Scientific.
How about I just put it on old Judd's face, mute myself, and say what I want to say?
Okay, go on then. Yeah, well, yeah, of course,
as all religions are,
Yeah.
they're all wrong. That's what I'm gonna say. They're all just not. It's all just like a nice story at best. Some of the things that they were so essentially the reason why they believe Islam's the one true religion and why it's more definitive above all is the Quran is unique to Islam. It's the last holy book. They believe in the Bible, they believe in Jesus, they believe all these things were holy. But the Quran kind of stands out as unique and Muhammad in that it demonstrates knowledge of a lot of stuff that nobody could have known in that time. So they say.
Okay.
The justification for it is fucking wild. Some of the things they say is like... They essentially say the Quran knew all the stages of embryonic development. Because it said something about gum, and one of the stages of the embryo developing looks like chewed gum. It's like, mate, come on.
What
are you talking about? I could get into it better if I was reading this book, obviously, but we were sat by the pool and she were reading this to me. I was like, what the fuck? What sort of justification? One of the things was the mountains. It said something about mountainous pins or something like that. And they justified this by saying, and of course, science now knows that the mountains that we have on the world act like pins to stop earthquakes from doing too much damage. Because mountains obviously look just like pegs. That was it, pegs. Eggs, mountains. Mountain looks like a peg, Judd.
This is insane. This sounds like schizophrenic ramblings.
It's. I don't want to get into it a lot, but it was. Come on. When we were in the mosque and everything, I was thinking, damn, this is like. You feel the gravitas of it. But then as soon as you find out what the core thing is behind all of this, it's like, what? What? This is what all this is about?
Yeah.
Really? Holy crap. So, anyway, what did we do on this day? Oh, it was really nice seeing the birds by the pool. Birds would go and clean themselves in the pool.
Were you looking at them birds by
look
pool?
At them tits. We had a nice, delicious curry, and we went to this Kingdom Tower.
The Eye of Sauron that they built.
Yeah, they did build an Eye of Sauron. Yeah. It looks like Sauron. This building that we went to, it looks like Sauron's tower in a nice black suit.
Yeah.
It's fucking
This is like Sauron's tower if it was like in Night City.
Yeah, changes colour. It's got this weird aura in the middle of it. So we went to some markets on this day. This is another day, and in Riyadh, if there's a thing that people might want to buy, they sometimes we'll have an entire shop that basically sells like one thing. Like we might have an entire shop that sells just candy or something like that.
Yeah.
In Riyadh, they have an entire mall for just one thing every time. So, that black traditional robe that Jasmine had to wear to go into the mosque? The one that they have to wear when the women have to wear when they're out and about?
Yeah.
It has to be a black robe, basically. There's some minor embellishments you can get away with, but, you can't change it a lot because then it's not actually the black robe that's traditional. Entire mall selling essentially the same black robe. Meadowhall, about 2/3 the size of Meadowhall. Just those black robes. Just that. The entire mall. And that's what it's like for most things. So they had another mall next door to it for ball gowns. When are they going to wear ball gowns? When they go out, they have to wear the black robes.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a time. It's probably me being ignorant to knowing when they can make a lot of use out of that. But there was loads of them, and they were stunning. And obviously everything's like mega quality and everything.
Yeah.
So entire mall for that. Then another mall that we liked, which Jasmine's dad called the Fat Man T-shirt Mall, where you could.
I'd like it here.
Get a lot of T-shirts for fat men. What it actually was a counterfeit mall. So there was a bunch of counterfeit stuff in there because I walked in, first shop I saw had these trainers that I know are worth thousands. I was like, whoa! Because I was thinking, like, it's Saudi Arabia. People have a lot of money. Maybe these are real. Yeah. And then I kind of looked at the rest of the store, and there was loads more really rare stuff. I'm like, wait a minute. I was thinking, there's no way these can be real. So, but Jasmine's dad said, no, they'll be real, because counterfeit laws here, you get killed. You can't counterfeit stuff. So I asked the guy the price, and he said, I think it was like 275 SAR. And I was like, yeah, these are not real. Because that translates to like 70 quid. So these shoes are supposed to be worth thousands, and they're 70 quid. So they're not real. Yeah. There was hundreds of shops like that in this mall. That one was actually probably the best one. But there's also...
I wonder what's up with that then.
I don't know. I think Jasmine's dad said he were going to ask his kind of... He's to do with some kind of security stuff out there, so we're going to ask the law guy in their company, like, what's up with that? And we're like, don't snitch. We're like, don't snitch on them.
Like, they might cut his hands off.
I'm just gonna see if what's happened about, because the law must have changed or something. So I'm just interested. So there was a bunch of stalls as well in this mall that were selling bags and watches. So I got myself a nice little Rolex. It was about 60 quid. It's really good quality, actually, for a counterfeit. A little bit disappointed I didn't do my research, because this doesn't exist as a Rolex.
Oh.
But I don't know, I think it looks cool. It's fun to have. Jasmine got a Gucci bag from this place. This was actually after we went back on a different day. So in the giant Sauron's Tower place was a really fancy mall. It had actual watch shops. So like there was a Rolex store, Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet, Cartier. Some of those watch brands I've never even seen a physical store for, because I've never been to a place posh enough. And they had those there. This was like real expensive shit. There was a really cool food court that was there that was selling some nice stuff. But you could go to the top. So this place is a second tallest.
All the way to the top of Arasaka Tower.
Yeah, it's the second tallest building in Riyadh. It's about as big as the Empire State Building. Gorgeous views, and the city was lit up, and it just goes on forever. It's crazy. It was on the way up here. It was really funny because it was a prime example of another phenomenon that happens with Riyadh, in that there's so many employees for things that do not need people to be employed for it. So, for example, there was kind of like a certain way you had to go through this skyscraper to get to the elevator that takes you here. Now, signs would have been fine. They could have just put down a sign. But there was like 6 or 7 guys to just go this way, this way. That's the entire job. Yeah. Like a guy in the elevator go boop, boop, this, and then another one on the outside. Not the same guy in the elevator couldn't do the job of the guy who's on the outside who goes this way. It's like, and you know how in a multi-story car park in England, you'll pull up to the gate, press for your ticket, you'll pay at the barrier automatically and stuff like that. When you pull up to one in Riyadh, it's like, there's about 5 guys just at the ticket bit where you get the ticket. Then there's about 3 guys where you pay to help you know how to pay and like which direction you might want to go next. And there's so many people that just have like jobs that don't need to exist at all, to be honest. But yeah, it was incredible. It's like, at this point, obviously, we've seen the edge of the world and the cultural stuff. We've seen insane money and modern technology opposed to gorgeous desert natural beauty, then immense culture and tradition opposed to immense kind of spending and wealth in a skyscraper. It's just such like an opposite in this one place. But yeah, you can see I took a video of the traffic because obviously, like I mentioned, the traffic is absolutely insane here. It just goes on forever. I bet LA is worse, but like it's pretty bad here. So yeah, that was that day. The next day, Jasmine made friends with a pregnant cat.
How do you know she was pregnant, huh?
She was definitely pregnant. Cat has a little home in a bush. Found more cats. So we also went to the traditional city of Diriyah. This used to be the capital of Saudi Arabia before it was Saudi, when it was just Arabia. Like I said before, the Ottomans moved in, took it, then kind of the Saudis took all sorts of stuff back. So the outskirts bit, the buildings kind of are semi-replicas of the ancient city, and they're really posh restaurants. So that's kind of we went in the surrounding of there. I was starving when we arrived here, and we took fucking forever to eat. But I was getting kind of annoyed by the end of it because there's only real expensive restaurants here. It's like fucking like I don't want to be spending £80 on a meal just because I'm starving. It took us forever to get anywhere. But yeah, it was gorgeous, this ancient city. And when I say, you know what Assassin's Creed looks like, right? I fucking walked into Assassin's Creed. I'm telling you, the ancient buildings looked like the ones out of Assassin's Creed, and you know how they portray like the Isu's old technology and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, it fucking looks like it. Like all the projections. There was Let me get to this one. So we look at this shit, Judd. We saw the king, like the old Arabian king who established a city's palace, and they were projecting stuff onto it. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck? They're there. Like it looks exactly like it, doesn't it? Though, like I'm showing Judd it now. If you're not watching the video version. If you've ever played Assassin's Creed and see all the kind of like neon bits from when you're playing as Desmond or whatever, and the kind of nowadays bit, it's just like it, especially like this bit. Look at that! Oh my god, it looks so much like it. Was freaking me out, but I didn't have anyone who played Assassin's Creed to be like, what?
It's freaking me out, fucking freaking me out, man.
Judd, when you're there, it was like, oh my god, I had a moment where I was looking at this projection thinking, it's real. Assassin's Creed is real. It's gotta be. This was more convincing than the Quran. Like I was more convinced on the Islam on this being a real thing than the Islam explanations. But anyway, there's some cool engravings about horses, some statues that had survived, some saddles, a picture of a king riding a horse, anatomically correct horse from ancient times. Got a big donger on it.
Sure? Are you sure that's anatomically correct?
Got a big donger on the horse drawing. I liked that because they don't like sex stuff there. It's very, very taboo. But they give the horse a big cock. There's the horse trampling a guy. Ancient drawing of it. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
A bunch of guns. So when the Ottomans were kicked out, essentially led by the British, Lawrence of Arabia type stuff, the British gave them loads of weaponry, which I found really weird because, like, you kind of picture places like that end of the world, their historical kind of fighting being with like swords and arrows and stuff. I don't know whether that's from Assassin's Creed or what, but vast majority of it was like World War I guns and like cannons and things like that were, British made, which was interesting. You could even hold them and pretend you were shooting Ottomans. It's fun. Pick up swords and feel how heavy they were and stuff like that.
And you could behead real Ottoman.
No, just the gays.
Okay, nice.
Beautiful views, things like that. Biggest flag in the world there, apparently. Big Saudi flag.
Yeah, we'll just fucking have that as well. Do you think he ever just like sat in his like office some days, the king, and he's just like rocking back and forth on his chair, and he's like got his fingers pressed to his chin, and he's just like, biggest flag today, I think.
Probably. Do you know what the fun interaction that happened with that was? Desmond's dad was like slightly excited to be like, we can see it here, biggest flag in the world there.
Yeah.
And we blurted out without thinking, looks pretty small. I had to save it. I went, but it's probably just far away. But honestly, I mean, it was probably big if you get closer. I don't know.
Yeah,
they had a carousel.
Yeah, probably.
This thing was really annoying. It kept playing the same tune over and over again while we were trying to eat.
Yeah.
Anyway, next day, I think. Oh, this was the last thing that I've got to show. The last couple of days, sandstorms started kicking up. So there were like sand getting everywhere and lightning going off. It was weird because we've been like days that were incredibly dry and hot, and then it was like storm, and you'd essentially have sand blew everywhere for about half an hour. It'd piss it down with rain for about 15 minutes, and then it'd go back to normal.
Yeah.
And I've heard that they do some like climate stuff, so they kind of go up into the air with planes and kind of force clouds to rain sometimes. So
cloud seeding is I think
that might be what it's called. But that's the Saudi trip. Fuck British Airways. I'll add this on to the end. The most uncomfortable flight I've ever fucking had. Like the most uncomfortable flight I've had was on the way there. No, sorry, that's the second most uncomfortable. The worst one was on the way back. It was terrible. Like, and the way back was the weird one because the kind of guy at the check-in desk said something, and then we kind of figured out that it must be priority boarding coming on. So we were waiting for that to finish so that we could go on with our normal boarding. And it were taking a while. And there were more people going up to the desk. I'm thinking, God, there's a lot of priority boarding. It's almost not even worth being priority. And then more was coming. And more were coming. And fucking hell, there was so many priority boarding. And it was getting weirder and weirder. There must have been, like there were about 6 people in wheelchairs on this flight. And, like, sure, like, that's fine. People in wheelchairs going up. But 6? Like, why is there so many? And then
that's an unusual ratio of people in wheelchairs.
There ended up being about 6 people in wheelchairs, 3 babies, and a dog.
The fuck?
Yeah, we were like, what? What's going on here? Why are there so many on this flight? And I think this flight must have been like 85% business and first class.
Yeah.
Which, to me, is crazy. Like, the amount of people that were in economy was tiny. So we eventually just kind of got in the non-priority line because we didn't know what the hell was going on. And then we showed our boarding passes, and we had to go around this corner and show them to another guy who was, like, security. And... But... I don't know why this was happening, but for some reason he looked at Jasmine's boarding pass and put her in this line, and then I went to show him mine. He was like, "Oh, just women." I'm like, "What? Why?" Yeah. Like I didn't know. What do you mean, just women? Like, we're all getting on the same flight. What do you mean?
Yeah.
So he put some people behind Jasmine. Then he saw mine and put me in a different line.
Yeah.
Sometimes you had to go in men and women's lines for certain things. So when we went into Boulevard City, Jasmine had to go in a different line just in case they needed to pat her down because a woman would have to do it rather than a man. So, sometimes there was some stuff like that. None of that in this line on the way into plane. None of it. They just put us in different lines. The only thing that happened was they pulled Jasmine to a different room to just write her seat number down. And then she could carry on. And the lines just merged anyway. It was really weird. And then we got on the flight and they sprayed disinfectant as we were all sat there. They sprayed the whole plane with disinfectant. I was like, what the fuck? This has never happened. Literally, the flight out there, they didn't do that either. And the seat was so uncomfortable. It was like there was no padding in it, and it was like a metal bucket that I was sat in, basically. It was awful. And the bitch in front of me, this guy, I swear, well, for starters, right, dogs shouldn't be allowed to fly. They shouldn't be allowed to fly.
They shouldn't. It goes against the laws of nature. They shouldn't be able to achieve...
But even beyond that, it's just ridiculous taking a dog on a flight. You don't need to do it. You shouldn't bring them with you. It's not good for them. Fucking stop it. Babies shouldn't be allowed on a flight. Stop fucking doing it. It's ridiculous. They don't need to fly anywhere. You're going to have to fucking wait until they grow up. You chose to have a child in an overpopulated planet, you fucking pathetic idiot. They're not allowed on a plane. It's like, minimum 5 years old should be allowed. Minimum. Like, I think 8. Is a good amount of to do it at. So those two things. Do you know what's the third one?
What?
Fat people, right? if you need to ask for a seatbelt extension on the plane, don't fucking get on it. Stay off the plane. And, like, I'm a fat guy. I'm not even close to needing a seatbelt extension, right? It's just, if you need a seatbelt extension, you're too fucking heavy. Piss off. This guy in front of me needed a seatbelt extension, and then the entire way he reclined his seat all the way back because his fat fucking belly needed the space, the dickhead. Oh my god, I hated this guy. Seats also shouldn't recline on a plane. That's not fair either. You can't just take up the person behind you's room loads because you want to. Oh, well, why don't you recline your seat as well? Because I don't find it comfy. Just have one. Just have, that's what everyone gets. It's even. Fuck off. Do you know what else annoys me? Like, so he had his screen on the fucking, his screen in front of him on full brightness while everyone's trying to fucking sleep. There were points where he weren't sleeping, but he wouldn't unrecline his seat. He would just, like, recline. He was like that fucking Hedonism bot on fucking Futurama. That's what he was like. God, the person sat next to him were weird as well. I kept having to stand up because my ass was numb. It was horrible. I kept having to stand up. So at one point, Jasmine went to the toilet, and I was stood up the whole time while she got back. And the guy in front of Jasmine's seat tried to hand me his food tray with, like, his like, rubbish on it, and I went to him. You what? And then she kind of got back, so I just sat down. But he was going to make me take his tray. He thought I was staff. What are you talking? Have you not seen that they're all wearing the same uniform? What are you on about? Oh my god! Was he British? No.
Oh god!
Do you know what the worst bit is? Armrests, right? Armrests on the flight. When I was younger, you used to be able to lift or lower all the armrests. Now, you can only do it for the middle ones. The side ones, for some reason... any idea why? Any idea?
No.
Why can't I lift side... arm rest plane? Why can't I lift armrest on plane? You can raise the aisle armrests on most planes by pushing a little release button near the back of the bottom. But for some reason, the window ones are bolted in place. Yeah, okay. What's the deal? No one knows. So someone's asked this question on the r/flights Reddit. The best answer is, the plastic wall trim isn't designed to be load-bearing. So it can take some load, of course, but in a crash or an emergency, your seat is designed to restrain you, not the wall panel. Fuck off. I don't care. That's not a good enough reason. But just stop it. It's the problem I have with this, it sounds so petty, but it's in the perfect place to be the most uncomfortable thing possible. It's in the just seriously the worst place possible. It's so uncomfortable. I hate it. And this is, bear in mind, on this flight, most people were in business class, so we had to walk past all these fucking smug motherfuckers who've essentially got a nice little pod to sleep in because they can spend $4,000 on their flight. So, oh my god, I hated it. It was I if I can avoid British Airways forever, I will. I absolutely hated that flight. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's anything else to remember. I've probably forgotten stuff. But maybe I'll remember stuff to bring up another time. Did you have any questions about Saudi Arabia?
No, I think... I've got a lot of questions about Saudi Arabia now, but I don't think it's anything you can answer, to be honest.
Well, I don't know. I might be able to.
No, it's more just like, where does the fairy dust that they managed to sprinkle on their entire country come from? Where did they get that?
Do you want to hear some more ridiculous stuff that they're building then? Just to blow your mind.
Then.
So one of the things they're building is called The Line. Let me Google this. It's Line Saudi Arabia. So this is a city. This is like a BioShock city. Google this.
Yeah.
It's.
Oh, I think I've seen this actually. Hold on.
It's 170 kilometers,
line.
And it essentially has everything anyone could need within 5 minutes walk of whoever would live there.
I've seen this.
Self-sustainable, mirrored. It's just mental. This long line, futuristic city filled with nature, just in the middle of the desert. it's unbelievable when you look at just look. There's not much else I can do to describe it for the podcast. You just have to look it up. The line Saudi Arabia. If you look at the promo videos for these things, it's like the start of a sci-fi dystopia film where it like all goes wrong and like, you know, it's just crazy. The other one, I can't remember the name. I think it's called Neom. Oh no, that's what the line's called. The building essentially this other city that's got a huge 40 square mile cube in it. Yeah, that's the holodeck from Star Trek. The entire thing. It's all like HD screens on the inside with hologram projectors, and you can essentially live in just ultimate looking paradise in there. It's just like, I don't think that place is going to have housing and things like that, but it'll have shops and, you know, restaurants and everything you could want in the center of a city in this giant, I don't know, if I did Google Saudi Arabia cube called the I don't know what it's called. It's the size of 20 Empire State Buildings. The Macabre, I think it's called. The Macabre. Yeah, Google The Macabre and just look at some of the images of that. It's just nuts. It looks like, you know, like, I don't know, like Avatar or something, like Pandora or even like, you know, it reminded me a bit of Nova on Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, that like giant futuristic idealistic city. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, you know, when I describe something like that to you, it's almost not shocking just because it's like, no, they're not. It's like you're talking about a story in a book or something. It feels like that, doesn't it? But no, they're doing like 6 of those projects in various places.
Handsome Jack started building this place on Pandora. I remember this level.
Yeah. So Saudi Arabia, it was unbelievable. It was very. I'll never forget it. It was just incredible. We're thinking we might go back this year, a bit later this year, because if we go, Jasmine's dad pays for the flights and stuff like that because of job and things like that. So we actually can just kind of go for free, or nearly for free. So we've been looking at what it would take to go and work out there. So I'd have to kind of, if I was going to do that, I would kind of figure out what I would need to do to be able to do podcast out there and things like that as well. Yeah. So yeah, I don't even know if they have, if you can do stuff like that there. I don't even know. I guess I'd find out. But yeah, there you have it. Saudi Arabia, another trip in the books. It's out there.
Did it Saudi your Arabias?
It sounded, Judd.
It sounded. Fuck me, end it now.
Okay, yeah, fine, fair enough.
That was great.
Right, okay, that's going to be the end of the stream. I've got my team's going to start playing soon, and I want to nip to the shop before they start playing, so I'll hit you up again next time. Yeah. Okay.